Hello and welcome back to the Long Island Railroad Montauk branch. Well, I've done it. I've finally finished this corner, the last bit of the railroad. I know it's been a while, but I have an excuse. I was transported to an alternate dimension, which is exactly like ours, except they eat their corn on the cob vertically instead of horizontally. But I'm back now, and here we have it. So this building which goes from here all the way down to the other end, as buildings tend to do, is for the shipping out of finished products like slabs of copper, ingots, I guess they would call them, and copper coil, and I guess coils of wire or very thin sheets. This side of the facility is for the reception of general goods and the cars carrying, the narrow gauge railroad cars carrying the copper cathodes from the dock area. They go in through here, and you can see there's a line of them inside, ready to be carried by the overhead crane into the facility to the electrolysis tanks. And this building on the far end is the power generation plant. The coal gets brought up via the narrow gauge track and goes into the hole and gets dumped and burnt and turned into electricity. I will eventually, there's a smokestack that comes with this kit, and I'll eventually build that and put it on the back there where I extended the roof. And also, because the building was not quite big enough, I had to add this part down here, these two slabs right there. I think I blended in pretty well. I like it. I'm happy with it. I hand-built this, scratch-built this bridge. I should probably have some diagonal supports going across, and maybe I'll add those later, but we'll see. And there's a couple of doorways into the power plant, like this one right here, which I left that because I might build a bridge going across. We'll see about that. And then there's also this doorway over here for access. I'll put in a little overhead, steel beam with a crane mechanism so they can access the loading dock down on the bottom. And down here at this end, I put a large tank, basically because I didn't have anything else to put there, or didn't know what to put there, but it's, I guess, for water, for the electrolysis tanks, or who knows what else. Oh, and one other thing I did was I was having trouble with my bridge. This thing right here. The hinge broke down here at this end. So I just got rid of the hinge, and mounted it on a little pin there. See if I can get down there and show you. See the pin? The pin just slides into those holes in the block. So much less complicated than it used to be. Although it's still a little sticky. There we go. And then over here, this side has this removable pin to hold it in place so that I don't bump it. It wedges in there nice and firm just for running the trains across the top. That's not the problem. The problem is if I bump it and knock it off. That would be bad. So I put that little pin there to hold it there. So here's what the bridge looks like when it's in place. And you can see the pin is holding it there. The tracks are nicely lined up. So as long as I go slow, it's not a problem. Now, one of the hardest things I had to do was build the ramp. It's very steep, too steep, but it's the best I could do. This is entirely made out of styrofoam. First I figured out what the appropriate slope would be, and then cut a form as a guide for that, and then cut bunches of 1-inch thick styrofoam. Each piece is about 4 inches long. You see where these panels are? That's a piece right there, and then another one, and so the panels cover the gaps for all the pieces. And a marginally interesting thing about this building right here is that I built it so the roof is removable. Now you notice it is lit under there. And I can pull the roof off. You can see what I've done is that I have it, I used the copper tape and wired all the lights to the copper tape. And here at this end, see, I have it attached to two little pieces of brass that I glued in place. And those two little pieces of brass, and I'm going to have to move the camera. And I'm going to just move the camera so you can see exactly what I'm showing you. Those two little pieces of brass connect to these two pieces of copper tape there, and that makes the electrical connection so that that is always lit. Now these two buildings themselves are not lighted. I could do that, and I could try to run the copper tape around, but if I were to light them, I probably would just drill a hole in the base there and run up some extra wires. But I don't really need to light them, so I probably won't do it. But that actually took some doing because, you know, I'm an idiot and I had to do some experimenting, but it ultimately works just fine, and I'm pretty happy with that. And another thing I did since the last update, which I did as kind of an experiment for working with the this flavor of evergreen siding, and I knocked that building out of position, which is important because actually this is it's a place where you keep engines, an engine shed, that's what it's called. And I just turn the power on here, and there they are. Look at them go. Anyway, so that's what that is. It's very basic on the inside, and then it has a little attached shed on the other side, just for fun. And one of the other things I did was I made this model of an automatic switch machine, and this is made entirely out of scrap styrene, and I like it. It looks pretty cool. It's based on a picture that I saw in Modeling the Railroad Right of Way by Jeff Wilson, one of the recent Kalmbach books. I will show you that picture right now. So I think I got pretty close enough for government work, as they say. And I also built this little electrical cabinet out of scrap styrene. And the way I did it, interestingly, is I cut a piece of wood, a wood block. It's like I bought it at, a box of tiny wooden blocks, just square piece wooden blocks. Got it probably Hobby Lobby, and I just cut it in half and skinned it with 0.010 styrene. Didn't try to build a box out of styrene because that gets really hard at this kind of scale. So I just skinned it, and that made it, well, a lot better than I could have done doing it any other way. So, I mean, it's not great. It's not, the be-all and end-all of equipment boxes, but for only costing like 5 cents and some labor, it worked out pretty well. And this is just a little story about turning a problem into a feature. I was having some issues with this switch for some reason. I can't even remember what was going on. So I dug out all around it to try to see if I could fix it. And when I was done with it, I said, I fixed the problem somehow. I'm not even sure how I did it. And I just said, that looks kind of neat with the hole dug there. So I just painted it in with some really dark paint and took some of the scrap, ground cover that I had to take out and just sprinkled it around as a dirt pile and made it a nice work scene. So these guys they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it. And I just left it like that without trying to fix it. And here you can see by the state of the wires on my power poles that no matter how hard I try, my cat always gets in here and immediately goes and chews on these. I don't know why he likes them so much, but he does. I can't even tell you how many times I've had to replace the wires or fix the wires in this stretch between that pole and this pole and this pole. But what am I going to do? Well, funny story. I was going to, just off the cuff, decided I would try to run ops with the narrow gauge train set so that, pick up the cathode cars from back there and take them to where they go, and then pick up some of the coal cars and take them to where they go. I said, it'll be fun. I've never done it before. Do it live, share it with all my friends out there. What could go wrong? Well, it turns out everything. Absolutely everything. It was an unmitigated disaster. I'm not even going to show it to you. In fact, it was so bad that I'm considering just tearing all this narrow gauge crap out and starting over with something else. It was horrible. And on that note, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do some HO scale ops to make up for it, because I do have a small train ready to go. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.